Clear, blue. I finally escaped. Please clap. Looking up, I see not the labyrinth ceiling, but an actual sky. A real sky. Blue. Endless. Beautiful. I feel like I could switch careers and become a poet right now. Not the embarrassing kind teenagers write in their journals at 3 a.m. Real, exquisite poetry. The kind people tattoo on themselves and mean it. I'm not going to do it, but I absolutely could. You'll have to forgive me for being a little unhinged at the moment. I just, finally, and let me emphasize this, finally, escaped the Great Elroe Labyrinth, the world's largest dungeon, and based on personal experience, also its most psychologically devastating. The Great Elroe Labyrinth, where I was born, where my first memories are of watching my siblings eat each other alive, where the creature participating most enthusiastically in that massacre was my own mother. Mother is scary. I don't say that lightly. I've fought a dragon. The dragon didn't scare me the way Mother does. The dragon at least had the decency to just try to kill me, rather than also be my parent. Anyway, I'm out. I've been outside for approximately 30 seconds, and I've already decided this is better. Oh, right, there's a fortress. Of course there's a fortress. Someone built a wall to contain the labyrinth's monster output, which, fair enough. Would I want giant spiders wandering out unannounced? Absolutely not. Soldiers spotted me, attacked immediately. I reacted instinctively with magic, and the fortress, well, the fortress is rubble now. Look, I'm going to need everyone to stay calm. This was a mysterious freak incident with no clear cause. All witnesses to this incident have since moved on to whatever comes after being hit by black bullets. The statute of limitations will expire before anyone finds proof. I am innocent. Self-suggestion complete. Even a lie detector won't catch me now. I fled the scene. I left the area because I wasn't involved in anything. Now that I've had a moment to breathe, let me assess my situation. Problem 1. Mother. Not just in the metaphorical sense of all my problems originate with her, though that is also true. I mean literally. The Queen Taratect is currently inside the labyrinth and would like to kill me. My plan for dealing with her relies on a simple principle. Think of it like a gunman versus a swordsman. The swordsman is stronger in close combat, will destroy the gunman if they can close the distance. The gunman wins by maintaining distance. I am the gunman. I am outside. Mother cannot fit through the exit I just used. Victory is mathematically guaranteed. I have dispatched my parallel minds, consciousness clones, essentially, to wage spiritual battle against her from within the labyrinth, while my real body enjoys the fresh air out here. Through heresy nullification, her soul attacks bounce off me harmlessly, while I slowly whittle her down. I would explain the full strategy, but the important point is, I already handled the arch Taratects she sent after me, teleported them directly into the middle stratum, which is brutal heat territory incompatible with spider monster physiology. Was it a dirty tactic? Yes. Did I feel bad? Also yes. Did I do it anyway? Look where I'm standing. Problem 2. Humans. Humans and I will not be getting along in the near term. My intimidation skill combined with my Fearbringer title means I induce primal terror in anyone who sees me. Even someone who absolutely loves insects, a person who weeps with joy at the sight of beetles, who has dedicated their life to the study of arachnids, would probably still scream and run from me on instinct. If such a person somehow wound up reincarnated in my situation, they'd be eaten by Mother within minutes. I mention this not with malice, but as a statement of fact about my social prospects. Problem 3. Food. I've been eating monsters for my entire reincarnated life. Disgusting ones, mostly. I want actual food now. Fruits, mushrooms, possibly seafood. There's a town in the distance. I'm ignoring it. There's a forest and some mountains. I'm going there instead. Presumably nature has edible things. The Demon Lord's aide sighs at a meeting. 3 seats are empty. I, Balto, Demon Lord's aide and professional sufferer, note this for the record and move on. The first army, destroyed by the Queen Taratect. Why? Because Commander Agner was secretly colluding with the elves. The Demon Lord knew. She arranged for a legendary class monster to appear on the battlefield and, incidentally, eliminate him. I know this because she directed me personally to sort through his belongings afterward, where I found the evidence she wanted me to find. She is not hiding anything. She is demonstrating. The message is, I see everything. Treason has consequences. The monster I summoned doesn't care whose side you're technically on. The Second Army, Commander Sanatoria reports 0 losses. Army intact. Currently maintaining watch over Fort Okun due to an anagratch infestation she herself caused. Very convenient positioning, militarily speaking. I know exactly what she's doing. After Agna's death, the elves found a new contact, Sanatoria, who then found a new confidant, me. How would you like to betray the Demon Lord and join me? She asked after the previous meeting. Very direct. I'll give her that. If we coordinate with the elves, we might actually be able to bring her down. I told her to abandon that idea immediately and walked away. She called after me. Surely you have some feelings about Blow? I kept walking. My jaw was clenched, but I kept walking. Blow, 7th Army Commander formerly. My younger brother, also formerly. He died fighting the hero. Moments later, White, 10th Army Commander, someone who can eliminate a hero without visible effort, destroyed that same hero instantly. The implication, White deliberately watched while Blow died. The Demon Lord had planned for it. I am aware of all of this. 3rd Army Commander Kogu stutters through his own report. He's working with Sanatoria too. I know. He's not clever enough to know that I know. Then there's the empty seat where 6th Army Commander Huey used to sit, killed by Ronant, the most powerful human mage alive, in what appears to be the only genuine loss that wasn't orchestrated from this side. Had he survived, Sanatoria would have recruited him. He was close with her and easily led. The Demon Lord, who has been silent through all the reports, speaks. Basically, I'm going to take my army, the 4th, the 8th, and the 10th, to destroy the elves. Kinda sick of them, honestly. The rest of you reorganize, hold position, don't try anything opportunistic. A smile at Sanatoria and Kogu. That won't work. Sanatoria goes pale. Kogu goes paler. I told them. I said, don't try. Spirit Battle vs. Mother, narrated by Magic Brain Number 1. I am former Magic Brain Number 1, temporarily reassigned to a spiritual battlefield. My day job is handling magic. The body brain handles physical movement. We have an arrangement. Right now, body brain is managing the real body's location, outside the labyrinth, enjoying fresh air, blissfully unaware, while the rest of us consciousness clones are here, attacking Mother's spirit form. The way this works, Mother has kin control, which was beginning to affect the real body. We traced the signal back, invaded the spiritual plane, and have been gnawing on her soul for days. The former body brain keeps getting blasted off by Mother's attacks. She's fine. Heresy nullification means 0 real damage, but she goes flying regularly, comes back annoyed, and complains. We've fallen into a rhythm. What's strange, Mother isn't doing anything to the real body. She has troops she hasn't deployed. She could send more Arch Taratects. She could send everything. She hasn't. I mentioned this to the body brain. She agreed it was suspicious. Then, as if timed for dramatic effect, everything moved at once. Mother's army dispersed through the labyrinth simultaneously, cutting off every safe teleport destination, and Mother severed the connection between us and the real body, which means the real body has no idea what's coming. Mother broke through the labyrinth ceiling, straight through it, as if it were nothing, and emerged into the outside world. The real body is out there, alone, without warning, enjoying fruit probably. Oh no. To the Great Elroe Labyrinth. Meanwhile, on a completely different continent, a group of people is about to make a series of increasingly inadvisable decisions. Schlain, brother of the legendary hero Julius, current status, accused traitor fleeing the Empire, was leading his companions toward the Great Elroe Labyrinth because that was the only remaining option. The mission: stop Hugo, who had seized the Empire through brainwashing and was currently marching an army toward the elf village. The route options had been, in order of preference: teleportation, unavailable, all teleport points controlled by nations now hunting them; ocean crossing, impossible, water dragon territory; ships sink immediately; and the labyrinth, extremely dangerous, but theoretically survivable. They chose option 3, obviously. Empire soldiers guarded the official entrance, Hugo's handiwork. Hyrinx, their most labyrinth-experienced member, led them around to a nearby village, the kind that exists entirely to service adventurers about to do something risky. Shatterproof antidote potions, oversized inns, an atmosphere of managed desperation. They found Mr. Goyef, a guide Hyrinx had worked with during expeditions with Julius. Goyev heard the situation. Goyev declined. He had a family. Getting involved with fugitives and imperial attention could put them at risk. This was the reasonable response. Nobody liked it. What nobody anticipated was the door opening with substantial force and an elderly man walking in with a bottle of liquor and the energy of someone who hadn't encountered a problem he couldn't solve. "What's this? A coward won't guide you? I'll do it my damn self." Baskath, Goyev's father, retired labyrinth guide. His voice was quiet and extremely powerful, which is the most effective kind of voice when you want someone to stop arguing with you immediately. "Labyrinth guides fear only the labyrinth," he informed his son. "Not some empire. I did not raise a coward." Goyev was cowered into silence. He eventually agreed to assist with planning. Baskath would guide. While the men sorted logistics, Ms. Oka left with Katya and Anna to speak with Faye, who'd been waiting outside in dragon form, too large for the village. They returned with 4 people. The 4th had white hair, pale skin, feathery wings, and an expression of profound self-satisfaction. She struck a pose. "Ta-da! Brand new human model Faye, just released today." The face was unmistakably Merei Shinohara, Faye's previous life, a former classmate. Her light worm evolution had come with a skill called humanification, which she had kept secret until Ms. Oka could procure appropriate clothing, the alternative having been somewhat more dramatic. Schlain processed this. The feathers, scales, and wings gave her a look that was technically cosplay adjacent, but combined with her face, read as entirely natural. Actually, sort of angelic. "You look pretty good like that," he said. "I know," said Faye. He had the beginnings of a thought about the clothing procurement situation. "And what might you be thinking about?" Katya's voice appeared at his shoulder, thought abandoned. "I'll have you know I'm fine to be here for this," Katya added, "because technically I used to be male." Schlain processed this second fact. "Ah," he said. "Any questions?" "No." Entering the Great Elroe Labyrinth. The underwater entrance had seemed reasonable when Baskath proposed it. Standing at a cliff above the ocean, in swimsuits, with Faye looking quietly distressed, it seemed somewhat less reasonable. "Any of you can't swim?" Baskath asked. He was, in retrospect, probably joking. "I kind of can't," said Faye. "In my previous life, I couldn't manage 80 feet. I haven't tested this body." Silence. Everyone looked at the dragon person who had just admitted she couldn't swim. "I could be fine," she added, unconvincingly. Katya directed a complex look at Schlain, the kind that communicated many thoughts without saying any of them. He offered to help Faye. The look intensified. They jumped. Underwater, Faye immediately demonstrated that her swimming ability was approximately as described. Schlain grabbed her hand and pulled her forward. Baskath led them down, maybe 30 feet, to the entrance. A water dragon appeared, long neck, serene eyes, looked exactly like the Loch Ness Monster. If the Loch Ness Monster had immediately charged at tourists. Faye turned toward it, opened her mouth, and fired a breath attack. The collision of energies propelled them directly into the tunnel at high speed. They tumbled through the narrow passage, bouncing off walls, spinning, with Schlain wrapping himself around Faye and absorbing most of the impact personally, and crashed spectacularly into the cave below. Baskath stood there with a torch. Everyone was scratched up. The swimsuits had not survived the tunnel intact. Katya and Anna were in a state that would most charitably be described as exposed and not happy about it. Katya was looking at Schlain with an expression that suggested she was composing a detailed complaint. He was still holding Faye. "Perhaps," said Katya, in a tone that was somehow both quiet and catastrophic, "you could let go now." He let go, apologized, bowed. Baskath sighed heavily. "With a start like this," he muttered, "I dread to think how the rest of the journey's going to go." He held up his torch and surveyed the cave. "Welcome to our hell on earth, the Great Elroe Labyrinth. Mother Attack, the sequel, external edition." The spider monster had been having an excellent morning. She'd walked through a forest, found fruit, used appraisal on every plant she saw, because the system knew every single one by name, and that was just delightful. Animals fled from her presence, which was less delightful, but understandable. The ground shook slightly, like a minor earthquake. Magnitude 3, maybe. She was basing this on Japanese news reports from her previous life, which were her only real reference point. Interesting that earthquakes existed here too. Her danger perception screamed. She knew this feeling. She'd felt it exactly twice before, in the moment of her birth, and the second time she'd encountered the fire dragon. The sensation that something was nearby that could kill her without trying hard. She ran. Immediately. No hesitation. The forest she'd been standing in ceased to exist behind her. Dark energy, Mother's breath, modified dark attribute, obliterated it completely and shaved off part of the mountain in the distance for good measure. She turned to look. The Queen Taratect, her mother, outside the labyrinth, which should have been impossible. Her stats, appraised even at this distance, averages in the 20,000 range across all categories, even weakened. Her highest stat wouldn't touch Mother's lowest. She ran faster. The long-distance teleport spell needed minutes. She started building it while sprinting. Dark bullets rained down. She dodged, weaved, slowed, and realized too late this was the distraction. A third breath was charging. Future sight caught a fragment of the outcome. She changed directions, went airborne with dimensional maneuvering. The breath swept horizontally through where she'd been. The shock waves hit her anyway. 30% HP gone, just from the edges. If she'd taken a direct hit, she would have been vaporized. She regained control in the air, kept building the rune, kept running. Mother landed behind her. The impact sent visible shockwaves through the earth and immediately resumed pursuit. 1 second before her estimated catch-up time, the rune completed. She activated it. The labyrinth pulled her in. She had survived. Approximately a quarter of her body had not, 2 hind legs and part of her abdomen, gone. She was alive by the specific mercy of high-tier spider physiology and heresy resistance. She took stock of her location, the midpoint between middle and upper stratums, a place she'd once made her home, currently occupied by Mother's spider army, waiting for her. Naturally. Navigating the Great Elroe Labyrinth. 2 days in, things were going well by the standards of the Great Elroe Labyrinth, which were low. Basgath guided them efficiently. The monsters of the upper stratum were mostly poisonous, which would normally be a major problem, but most of the party could cure poison, and everyone had high enough stats that most creatures never got close enough to try anyway. Hyrants drew aggro with mechanical competence. They moved quickly. No one had labyrinth sickness yet. This was lucky. The labyrinth offered no sunlight, no sense of time, no warning before attacks. The psychological grind of it built fatigue rapid. Basgath managed their pace carefully, clearly having seen the alternative many times. During the second night, on watch, Schlain woke from a dream he didn't want to think about. Vast empty space. A woman, her body dissolving, melting into the air around her, piece by piece, only her upper half left. Mechanical words from her mouth, like system notifications. Proficiency has reached the required level. Experience has reached the required level. Over and over. Then quietly. It hurts. He jerked awake. Miss Oka was watching him. Are you all right? Bad dream, he said. That there is an ill omen. Basgath said it without looking up from the fire. He told them about the nightmare of the labyrinth. A legendary class monster that appeared 10 years ago, on par with the Queen Taratect herself. He'd been guiding a night squad investigating a monster outbreak. The cause turned out to be the nightmare driving everything out of its territory, when they walked directly into its lair. The moment their eyes met, he'd been certain he was dead. It let them go. The party sent in to kill it afterward was wiped out instantly. It has unusual habits, he said. If you don't attack it, it leaves you alone, sometimes heals your wounds, other times obliterates you. Nobody could predict it. Is it dead? Ms. Oka asked. Her tone suggested she already knew the answer. They say so. Do you believe it? No. He described the thread. Old practice. See a spider web in the labyrinth, burn it. Standard monster control. Since the nightmare's vestiges appeared, the protocol reversed entirely. See a spider web, do nothing, leave immediately, quietly. Cutting or burning it counted as an attack. The response was not survivable. He looked at Schlain with the expression of someone who had watched people die for not knowing what he was about to say. Some fights cannot be won. That's not weakness, it's information. Schlain was quiet. Are you carrying responsibilities that should belong to someone else? I don't know how to answer that. Then, let me say it plainly. If it ever gets to be truly more than you can handle, just run, get stronger, come back. If anyone objects, let them take care of it themselves. He took a drink. That said, if you've already decided, I'm not here to stop you. I've decided. Basgath smacked his shoulder. The force of it was impressive for a retired man. From across the watch space, barely audible, Miss Oka murmured something to herself. What I really want to do, I mustn't regret it. Neither of them asked her to repeat it. 5 days in. The route decision. Anna was struggling. Her magic-heavy stat distribution meant physical endurance was her weakest point, and the labyrinth's relentless pace had caught up with her. The others had capacity to spare. She was already at her limit. Basgath had been quietly adjusting their speed, but it was becoming visible. He laid out the options. 3 routes. First, shortest path, through the large passage. A-class monsters, guaranteed encounters, possibly multiple. Fast, very dangerous. Second, roundabout route, safe but 4 additional days. Third, route through the nightmare's old territory. Only a day longer than the shortest option, but guides avoid it on principle. Nightmare's vestiges have been sighted throughout. Thread everywhere. You won't see it. Cut it by accident and... He paused meaningfully. Hyrants confirmed. Julius's party had nearly died fighting a nightmare's vestige. He voted for the long route. Miss Oka voted for the shortest. Katia agreed. Faye voted for shortest with the confidence of someone who had recently learned she could shoot breath weapons, which Schlain found slightly alarming. 3-1. He turned to Anna. I want your opinion. You're part of this group. She thought about it, then quietly and firmly. The shortest route. No apology. No caveat. Just the answer. Shortest route, Schlain confirmed. They knew what was in the large passage. They chose it anyway. The labyrinth pressed in around them, dark, close, alive with things that wanted them dead. Basgath led the way.